What's going on, world? It's your boy VO the Face, and we here with you, the bucket list, baby. We here for June 5th, Saturday, man. When it's you against the sports book, the bucket list got your back, and I'm here with these two gentlemen that are about to help us preview this round 2 of the playoffs, man. And did you just gangbang on us, Cody? You gangbanging on bacon? It's still early in the morning. You already gangbanging on bacon? I'm here with my co-hosts, man. They all like to jump the gun, so we'll just go ahead and introduce them, man. What's going on, Jay Reeves, the gambler?
Yo, let's go!
Silly C with the numbers. That's what he was doing. He was giving numbers. Silly C with the numbers. 6 and 5.
What up? Haha, it's your boy. Yeah, June 5th. Let's get it down.
It's your boy.
Baby, June 5th. It's my birthday month. Only a couple days late. Only a couple days, man, till it's my birthday week. And you know what us Geminis like to do. Turn the hell up. So we going to turn up for me, but we're going to turn up one time for y'all real quick. Let's go ahead and break down these round 2 games, man. They're all but decided. We do have a game 7 in one of the series that we'll talk about later. But let's kick it off with this one, man. The one that starts today, Milwaukee Bucks versus the 76ers. We can get into the breakdown of today's game later, but let's talk about how you guys view this series. Jay Reeves, how are you viewing this series?
One of the toughest series to cap.
No cap.
No cap. Man,
no cap.
This shit is going to be a banger. This is going to be a classic hard-nosed East Coast series, man. 2 of the big boys. Milwaukee versus Brooklyn, man. Oh, man, all the star power, all the lights. This shit is about to be awesome, man. But it's going to be tough picking the right side night in and night out.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a tough series to fall on. Looks like they're starting with some regular type lines, so we'll see how these play. It's kind of crazy to see Milwaukee with these close lines because they always are at least 6.5, 7.5, 10.5. We even seen them at like 14.5 point lines during the regular season. So this is going to be a much more competitive series. I'll tell you guys where I'm going to lean, but I want Cody to tell us who he thinks might be the X factor in this series. And that's deeper than Harden, KD, or Giannis. Let's go ahead and talk about X factors. What do you think? J. Rue Holiday? You thinking Cash Money Middleton? Thinking Blake Griffin?
I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to roll with Blake Griffin or Jordan. I think one of them two are going to have to make the difference here, at least for Brooklyn. Then when you come to Milwaukee, I like Drew. I really do. And if anybody else is going to help him outside of Giannis, it's going to be Drew. So definitely, I would say Drew and both Jordan and Blake Griffin.
Yeah, they're going to need huge minutes for those people. And by needing those huge minutes, man, I picked Brooklyn to advance here, but, man, watching them and their lack of answers for what Tatum was doing to them, and I think it's fair to say Giannis is a much better player than Tatum. So he's going to have better individual performances. And I think it'd also be fair to say that the Bucks have a better roster than the Celtics did. So I think this series not only going to be more competitive, but more close. And I think we might see chemistry issues here with Brooklyn. Let's just hope that Brooklyn wins early in the series, or they're going to fall behind, and then you're going to start seeing them bickering. So we'll see where this goes. I'm actually going to lean with Brooklyn. 7 games, Brooklyn.
Can I deep dive into some X Factor players who I'm thinking about? I got on Brooklyn, I'd have to say the boy Joe Harris. If he strikes fire, these fools easily turn into the big 4. And for the Bucks, I would have to say PJ Tucker with some defense. Who's he going to guard? Who does he guard? Does he guard Kevin Durant?
I think you put Giannis on KD. That's what I would do if I was the coach.
PJ Tucker's going to be out there on some defense on somebody. So those are a couple guys that I would look at as like being the X factor and like pushing their team to the next to the next
Well,
round.
what way are you going to lean in this series, Jay Reeves? I know we did our playoff bracket preview, and a lot of that shit is washed now, so we'll kind of restart it, refreshing it up, get a brand new slate. Who you going with in this series and how many games?
Well, actually, in my bracket, I had Milwaukee going up against the Brooklyn Nets, and I had the Brooklyn Nets advancing, and I want to say they advanced in 6.
All right, so you're going to stick to your original picks. Cody, I believe you had Brooklyn winning it all this year, so obviously you had them advancing past this round. Who are you going to pick in this round?
Yeah, this is going to be a banger. And I think 6, Brooklyn could take it, but my pick is going Brooklyn in 7. I think it's going to go to game 7, and they're going to win in Brooklyn.
Yeah, well, we're all picking Brooklyn in the series. I'm interested to see which way you guys are leaning on the analysis for this particular game a little bit later, but we'll move into the other Eastern Conference game, which is the Atlanta Hawks visiting the Philadelphia 76ers, and that should be a really good series. Atlanta just kind of underdogged the big boys in MSG and got them the fuck up out of here. Jay Reeves, any reason that you think they might crack the Liberty Bell?
The main reason would have to be the boy Joel Embiid's health, man. Now, I was listening to Dr. Chow. He was talking about maybe this was an undisclosed injury that they just didn't know about. And Joel Embiid has already been playing with this injury, so it could possibly be not bad, that meniscus tear. With that being said, man, if Embiid is not there, Atlanta has a real good chance of winning this series. Atlanta's on fire right now. I don't know if you've been seeing these guys beyond the arc, but that shooting is impeccable.
Yeah, I mean, last week, I think in my breakdown, they got called Trae young Steph Curry, which I know people said a million times before, but the reason why I said it is like, man, the way he's taking control of the game, his handle, his knowing when the double team's coming to get it off. He's just playing really well right now. So that point guard play is going to be impactful, but now he's taking on a potential defensive player of the year candidate. Cody, who you got as an X factor in this series?
Bogdanovich. I think if he gets hot, they become super explosive. And right now, with Embiid's health just being up in the air, and with them having no shot Simmons and not too much more, I don't know if Philadelphia can pull this out if Embiid cannot play at full strength this whole series, especially the way Atlanta's been playing.
Man, you guys give me that type of analysis, and it gives me trepidation with my pick. I do think the coaching of Doc Rivers will shine. The play of Tobias and Ben Simmons should be exponentially better than the type of talent that they have just because of the up and down of John Collins. Capella's been playing well, but he's just a pick and roll to the basket type player. And Trae Young, obviously, we not sleeping on him. As far as me, I'm going to still pick the Sixers to advance. I would have picked a gentleman's sweep, but because of the injury, I'm going to give them a buffer of a game. I'm going to say Sixers in 6. They will be the true Sixers, so I'm going to go with that. Cody, what are you lying on this series? Who you picking?
I'm going to go the Sixers in 7. It's going to be another long series, I feel.
All right, a nice long and drawn out one. Jay Reeves, you're shaking your head. Yes, are you thinking the same thing?
Well, I got a few things to touch on here. Like, yes, I am thinking Philly to advance. That's who I had on my bracket. I want to go to the X factor of this. For me, would have to be Ben Simmons with defense on Trae Young. Hopefully he could lock that brother down so they could just stop shooting in fuego. But I do want to look at Danilo Gallinari and the Bogdanovich cat versus Danny Green and Seth Curry. With that being said, who do you think is the better duo of those two?
Gallinari and Bogdanovich, easy.
Man, I think the Euros are definitely more versatile, but man, that shooting could go incredible. And those two, I think Danny Green owns like the series record for threes, and he got it against Miami back in the day when Danny Green first blew up with the Spurs. He hit like a whole bunch of threes, like 20-some threes in that. So if he gets hot and they get hot, man, they could shatter like 3-point records in a series for a duo. However, the more versatile, reliable scorers would be the Europeans in this one, the wing players.
And it's that haircut for Danny Green. I just can't do it. I don't know. Ever since he got that haircut, his shot has been off. But
he looks like you.
Why you got
he does.
Nah, yeah.
How you gonna hit on that light skin like that?
He's like, he got my haircut. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I still that's what I think. I think it's gonna be a hard-fought, long series, and yeah, Bogdanovich, he's gonna be a beast, and Gallinari too.
All right, man. So we're all the same. We all gonna predict the same Eastern Conference Finals from here. It looks like everybody got Brooklyn taking on the 76ers, which is a pretty much chalk finals, and we'll see if it could play out that way. Will bring us to our first and only confirmed Western Conference second round game, and that is my Denver Nuggets, baby, knocking out Dame Time in the Portland Trailblazers.
Let's go!
Taking on the Phoenix Suns, who look like bees, man. This is a battle of the Titans right here. But really, the Titans kind of lie on one side because we're missing Jamal Murray, man. He ain't got his ace right now. Much like I felt before, like my second best player just hasn't shown up for me. So freaking, that's just how I feel with this show. But oh, no laughs, no chuckles. All right, but we'll kick it over. You guys are the second best player, if you haven't noticed. All right, but yeah, much like that, you know what I'm saying? My Jamal Murray, you know what I'm saying? And the Nuggets, Jamal Murray, neither are there. So let's give our breakdown on this. Jay Rees, you keep saying you want to give an X factor in the series. So I'm going to start with you. Who's the biggest X factor in Denver taking on the Portland Trailblazers?
Man, that's going to be easy, man. It's going to have to be the boy MPJ, man. Like, he kind of started stepping up a little bit in that Portland series. We kind of seeing him grow up right before our very eyes, man. If that boy could get hot and produce 20 to 25 points on a consistent basis per game, the Nuggets got a pretty good shot on winning this.
Yeah, man, it's looking like this is the matchup that I preferred. Although Jokic plays really well against Gobert, I'm trepidant against Utah's depth. It scares me a little bit because they do have crazy depth. Cody, without that depth for the Suns and without the depth for the Nuggets, what do you think about how this series is going to go and who's the X factor in this?
I don't know. Crowder seems like he might be an interesting look.
Yes, sir. That defense, man.
Mm-hmm. And I'm really liking Campazzo. I feel like if he can, the thing is we got to get him more shots. He's got to get more involved in the offense. He's on the court for a long time, but he doesn't get much points at all. But with that being said, I think right now the Denver, we're in a good position. If we had Jamal Murray, I would say this would be an easy series. But without us having them, they have too much of a rotation and team. It's going to be difficult, and we're going to need MVP to play every game. So with that being said, right now I have Phoenix winning the series, but it's going to be hard.
Whoa! Did he just come out the side of his
out of here? Get this man out of here picking against the Nuggets. I'm going to take a breath and try to calm down before I make my pick. So, Jay Rees, who you taking in this series?
Oh, it's spicy. Man, I got a couple of things I do want to touch on, man. Health is wealth, man. Chris Paul, that shoulder has to hold up for this series, man. This is going to be a long-fought series. A couple dudes I do want to look at on the Phoenix side is they're both named Cam Johnson and Cam Payne, two light skins win again. Damn you, light skins. But that boy Cam Johnson, he's a real streaky shooter, man. And Cam Payne actually lives with Chris Paul, watching everything that he does. I think Cam Payne is like really on the rise. People don't know about him yet, but they will in this series, man. With that being said, man, it's Hotter than the goddamn sun on mine. I'm going with the Phoenix Suns in this one, baby. Let's go.
Man, y'all just disgust me, man. Yeah, man. Campaign has been playing well, but I think this will be a losing campaign for his. Nuggets like to push their series to 7 games, so I'm going to say Nuggets in 7. With that being said, I kind of want to dive a little bit deeper, man. That boy Monty Morris has been playing really well with like 22 points off the bench. He's been averaging, I think, around like 18, 19 for the series, all off the bench. People have been talking about him going into the starting lineup, but I don't see that happening because we got to get buckets off the bench when they're going to be able to get so many buckets with their starting lineup. Cody, take us into the mind of Mike. Don't call me Michael Malone. When you say you got to stop Devin Booker, how are you going to do that with your undermanned backcourt?
That's going to be tricky. And especially, I noticed when Chris Paul's, down or, wounded, Booker steps up. Booker he can take over the game too. And with that being said, I don't know if we have an answer for that. My thought would be to try to attack him with offense. So we're probably going to need Morris in there more than Campazzo. I would probably put him in because he's going to give us that offensive production, which will at least cancel out some of Booker's points.
So you're saying the best defense against Booker might be trying to counter it with offense. Jay Reeves, take us into the mind of Monty Williams. You got the number 1 pick taking on a second-round pick, but an MVP candidate in Nikola Jokic. How do you tell Ayton to defend Jokic, and what's the best strategy for the Suns to slow down the MVP?
Oh, man, they may have to double up on him. That would be my best strategy, man.
That's dangerous though, man, because he's like the best passer in the league. Go ahead though. What's your strategy? Double him?
Yeah, man. I'm talking about get the boy Jay Crowder. And Jay Crowder was holding LeBron James down. Like LeBron James looked like a shell of himself, man. I don't know. They got to double because Nikola Jokic, he just can't be in there just doing whatever the hell he want to do at a slow man's pace, man. They have to step up, man. I got a little quote, man, from CJ McCollum I wanted to share with you guys about Nikola Jokic. This is coming straight from CJ McCollum. Before the game, Nikola Jokic walked in the locker room. He walked past me. He walked past Carmelo Anthony. He tapped the boy Dame on the leg. And with a smile, he said, "Have a good game, brother." And he walked out. Nikola Jokic, he seemed so kind and sweet before he put us in the chamber again. Man, they got to double up. They got to double that man. They have to because he just does whatever he wants. He is the dad by God. He is the truth. He could easily push them over this series. I just think it's just a little bit too much without Jamal Murray, man. It's just a little bit too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I'm sitting there watching the game, and I'll make my pick now. I'm sitting there watching the game on Thursday, and freaking, I was like, man, this light skin is busting their ass in the first quarter. And no, I'm not talking about Devin Booker because a couple hours earlier, Michael Porter Jr. went insane in the first quarter against the Trailblazers. It was just stepped on by the performance by Booker later as far as media coverage go. But Michael Porter Jr., man, he was in fuego earlier. I did already make my pick. I said Denver in 7. So, yeah, man, freaking that's just how that one goes, man. There is one more Western Conference playoffs to be talked about, and that's going to be Utah Jazz hosting either the Dallas Mavericks or the Clippers. We'll dive into their Game 7 coverage later. But as the Utah Jazz, is there a team that you think they match up better with, Cody?
I think they match up better with against the Clippers in this case, because of the pace of the other team and the luckiness that Luka gets. I feel that they actually don't match up well with teams like that. They actually match up well with teams that are slower paced and try to, play more like the Clippers. So in this case, I think they match up better with the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, the Clippers were able to duck out of the first round afraid of the Lakers. If there was a team that you think the Jazz would be ducking from, which one would you think it was, Dallas or Clippers, Jay Reese?
Me personally, I feel like neither one. I feel like they could wash, rinse, dry, put them in the spin cycle, both these teams.
And repeat. You say rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat. Because you have, soak these boys. Because you have a real inconsistent duo with Chris Paul and Kawhi Leonard. The turnovers in Game 5 was sickening. I was sick to my stomach watching that game. And then on the other side, with Dallas, all you kind of really have is Luka. With that being said, man, I really feel like Utah is a complete team with a strong bench, better coaching, and I just feel like Utah could blow out either one of these teams, and they're not ducking from nobody. To be honest, I kind of hope they play Dallas just for the bullshit the Clippers pulled, man.
Yeah.
That's I don't know, man. That's just like unsportsmanlike. It's some bullshit. You just sitting up here throwing games to duck teams and shit. Man, I need them
losing to OKC and Houston at the end of the year to fumble out of the 3 spot and move to the 4th spot.
Yeah, man, I need them to duck on about the playoffs, man. Fuck the Clippers, man. I hope Dallas wins tonight.
Man, the basketball gods have not liked it too, rewarding them with 0 home victories. However, they have made up for that by winning every time they've been on the road. We'll see if that changes, but that's just Dallas going against the Clippers. And when it's you against the sports book, the bucket list got to your back.
Yes, sir.